Hello friends, welcome to the Global Pulse. Latest news from the Far East is, China deliberately escalates the row with the Philippines unnecessarily. It has done with the Philippines what it did with India 4 years ago. China has been a troublesome state for its neighbors for years now. It has started spreading its muscles and military power because of its economic growth for the past 3 decades. China misuses its power to pester its neighbors. Neither it leaves peacefully nor let its neighbors leave peacefully. But China forgets that this power does not last long. Even the Europeans' colonialism have long gone and is the past now. China have proven itself a notorious neighbor for all its surrounding countries. China repeats Galwan-like attack, assaults neighboring countries' navy with hammers and knives. Tension has escalated between China and the Philippines. There is ongoing conflict between China and the Philippines over this issue. This time, Chinese Coast Guard personnel arrived on 8 motorboats and repeatedly rammed 2 inflatable boats of the Philippine Navy, damaging their vessels with knives, blades, and hammers. China has once again executed an incident similar to Galwan. This time, it targeted the Philippine Navy in the South China Sea. Chinese soldiers armed with hammers and knives surrounded Philippine troops and attacked their boats. According to Filipino officials, Chinese soldiers tried to prevent our Navy personnel stationed at the Second Thomas Shoal from transporting food, weapons, and other supplies, and attacked the boats. China has stirred up trouble over the Second Thomas Shoal, claiming it on their map, while the shoal is under the control of the Philippines. In 1999, a Philippine Navy ship was grounded on the shoal. It is a submerged reef in the Spratly Islands of the South China Sea, located 105 nautical miles west of Palawan, Philippines. This is a disputed area, with Taiwan, Vietnam, and other countries also claiming this busy waterway. Chinese soldiers deliberately arrived on 8 motorboats. There is ongoing conflict between China and the Philippines over this issue. This time, Chinese Coast Guard personnel arrived on 8 motorboats and repeatedly rammed 2 inflatable boats of the Philippine Navy, damaging their vessels with knives, blades, and hammers. Filipino security officials told the Associated Press that after arguments and repeated collisions, Chinese Coast Guard personnel boarded the Philippine Navy ships and seized 8 M4 rifles, which were packed in boxes. Some Philippine Navy personnel injured in attack. Security officials said they also clashed with several Philippine Navy personnel, many of whom were injured. One soldier lost his right thumb. In a video posted by the Philippine Army, Chinese soldiers are seen surrounding Philippine Navy personnel and their supply boats, armed with knives and other sharp weapons. Soldiers from both countries are seen yelling at each other, with sirens heard in the background. Chinese personnel break the Philippine boats with a pole and grab an object resembling a bag with a stick. Philippines calls China pirates. The chief of the Philippine Armed Forces, General Romeo Brawner Jr., called the Chinese soldiers pirates and demanded the return of the rifles and equipment seized during the clash. Brawner Jr. stated, "We are demanding that the Chinese return our rifles and equipment, and we are also demanding that they compensate for the damage they have caused." He added, "They illegally boarded our boats and confiscated our equipment. They are now behaving like pirates with such actions." Philippines demands return of weapons and supplies. Brawner Jr. praised the Philippine Navy for their struggle despite being outnumbered, stating, "They resisted the attacks of the Chinese personnel armed with knives and blades with their bare hands and pushed them back." In a statement posted on Facebook on Wednesday, he wrote, "The Chinese Coast Guard personnel had sharp weapons, and our soldiers fought them barehanded. Our numbers were greater, and their weapons were unexpected, but our soldiers confronted them at every level." He further stated, "Our goal is also to prevent war." The Philippine Foreign Ministry condemned the illegal and aggressive actions of the Chinese authorities in a statement. This incident resulted in injuries to Philippine personnel and damage to the boats. China says it prevented encroachment. China responded to the incident and blamed the Philippines for the clash. Lin Jian, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry in Beijing, said, "Despite repeated warnings from our Coast Guard forces, Philippine Navy personnel encroached on the coast. This is the direct cause of the incident. The Chinese Coast Guard at the scene took professional law enforcement measures with restraint to stop the illegal supply mission by Philippine ships. No direct measures were taken against the Philippine personnel. On the other hand, the United States stated that it is obligated to defend its ally, the Philippines. What had happened in Galwan? On the night of June 15 to 16, 2020, a violent clash occurred between the Indian and Chinese armies at the LAC in the Galwan Valley. The People's Liberation Army of China used combined message weapons in the cold weapons category. Combined message weapons are unconventional weapons with sharp tools attached to their upper ends for attacks. In this clash, India lost 20 soldiers, including a commander. However, China did not provide clear information on how many of its soldiers were killed. India claimed that Chinese soldiers were also casualties in this clash. Later, China stated that 4 of its soldiers were killed in Galwan. Thank you very much for watching. Always stay with us for the latest news and updates. Goodbye and see you soon.